Thank you, thank you. I had to take an online diversity survey recently for work. See what kind of people work for the company I work for. It was completely anonymous and you could fill in the blank for every question. So I just filled in my name for almost every blank. It was like height, Paul, hair color, Paul, eye color, Paul. Then it asked for sexual preference. I switched it up slightly. I put preferred not to Paul. Me and my wife, we've been taking salsa dancing lessons at the YMCA. Salsa 101 they call it, or as I like to call it, how many old guys can accidentally grab my wife's ass in an evening? So far, the going record is all of them. If you can't tell by my accent, I smoke and drink a lot. I'm originally from Mississippi, which is why I'm not there right now. Did you know that it takes 31,760 genes to make up a single tomato? Way more than the 20 to 25,000 it takes to make a human, which I think is wild, because we're so much better than tomatoes in so many ways. And we don't even look similar except for when we're thrown against the pavement at a high rate of speed. Thank you. I occasionally smoke pot every day. And it's great being in a state where pot is legal. You know, one day weed will be legal in the South, and within the month that shit'll be deep fried and sold at carnivals. But until then, I'm gonna raise my kids up here, you know. I got 2 daughters. I got a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. They see the best in everything the world has to offer, you know. They love when I squirt whipped cream directly out of the canister into their mouth. Yeah. They think it's hilarious when I go first, but I don't get any. Yeah. Because they're kids and they don't know I'm just doing whippets, you know. But my kids were born up here and they don't have my accent. And my 6-year-old, she only speaks in a British accent because that's how Peppa Pig speaks on television. And recently I was taking her to basketball, but first I had to stop at Walmart, get some duct tape and dino nuggets. And as we were walking through the parking lot, she asked if she could get an ice cream, that single circular Spongebob on a stick. It's always slightly melted on one side like he's had a stroke, you know. I tried to talk some sense into her. I was like, it's $1.68 for that single circular Spongebob on a stick. It's $2.62 for a 12-pack of Great Value ice cream sandwiches. She said, they don't look like Spongebob. I was like, bullshit. First of all, they're closer to a square than that circular one on a stick. Second of all, you break one in half, you got 2 perfect black SpongeBobs. She said there's no black characters in SpongeBob. I said, make that your Facebook status. You'll be a goddamn hero. I'm not gonna argue semantics with you. Don't make a sound or talk to anybody, and maybe I'll get you one of those racist SpongeBob ice creams. So we go in, I'm getting the things I need, and she sees the toys. She wants to look at the toys. I tell her, that's it. That's gonna be your treat, you know, no ice cream. Because you take forever in the toys, and we don't have forever. She agrees. We go look at toys. 20 minutes passes. I say, all right, it's time to go. She says, what about my ice cream? I say, nah, you agreed no ice cream if you could look at toys. She says, well, can I have a toy? A more egregious request than the ice cream she's already agreed to forego. I tell her, we're not doing this today. We don't have time. I'm leaving, and I'm leaving now. And I start moving. Now she's following me very quickly, crying very loudly. And maybe there's something about a guy, looks like me, carrying duct tape and dino nuggets. Quickly rushing a small crying child out of the toy aisle at Walmart. makes a stranger feel compelled to stop us, make sure everything's okay. I don't think it made me look bad, this stranger stopping us to make sure everything was okay. That's fine. I think what made me look bad was explaining the innocence of the situation in my accent, while this small British child to my right tearfully told a stranger she was promised ice cream if she didn't make a sound or talk to anybody. I'm just trying to raise them right, I was raised by simple people, I once told my grandfather that only 23% of Mississippi was college educated. He said, well, hell, son, that's almost 2/3. That's a math joke, I was raised by rednecks, But it's fine. I'm the biggest, strongest one in my family. I was the only one that drank milk. I don't know if I was the only one that liked it. It's just that no one else was sure what homogenize meant. They didn't want to take the risk. But they taught me some valuable lessons, though, My father, he taught me the alphabet forwards and backwards. He said it would come in handy one day. Which it did. 4th of July weekend, 2012 in Austin, Texas. I was pulled over by a state trooper who asked me out of my vehicle. Said, Mr. Goodwin, can you recite the alphabet backwards? To which I said, yes, sir. ZYXWVUTSRQPONMLKJIHGFEDCBA. And then thank you. Then I did a little bow. He said, that's very impressive, sir, but you have a beer in your hand. My father didn't teach me all his secrets, But I was raised to be a survivor, I actually had a 12-month survival plan written up by the time I was 18, what I was going to do if shit popped off. We went to a civil war or something like that. Well, you get older, things change. I have a wife. I have 2 children now. Plan's been expanded. It's now a 14-month survival plan. It's basically the same 12-month survival plan as before. I've just added on 2 months at the beginning to get over the guilt of abandoning my family. Which is obviously a joke. Home defense is very important to me. You come over to my house, you walk in the front door, the first thing you'll see on the wall is my numerous trophies and medals for expert marksmanship and jiu-jitsu. If you want to go past those and test your limits, you'll find out just how easy it is to purchase trophies and medals with your name on it. But speaking of home defense, I saw a post online recently posted by a drunk uncle. Said liberal home defense system 2025, and it was just a picture of a guy staring down the sights of a big black dildo, which I thought was immature and unfounded, because I've been to a sex shop, and I've seen one, and I picked it up for a second to test its battle weight, and it's a weapon if you wanted it to be, All it would take is one good news interview with the guy who beat and subdued an intruder with one of those to deter crime on a massive level. Rednecks all across the country would see the interview that goes something like, good evening, everybody. Dick Swelter here with the Channel 2 local news. No weird stuff, straight news. Tonight we're here to celebrate one for the good guys, the American homeowner. Behind me here in the back of this cop car is a loser, broken, beaten, sad, no doubt wishing he'd just been shot. And over here to my left, we have the man, the hero, a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus, Mr. Paul Goodwin. Oh, thank you, sir. No, thank you, sir. Can you walk those of us watching at home through the events that transpired here this evening? Why, yes, sir. I was in the bedroom watching X-Files on Hulu with my woman. We used my brother-in-law's accounts. And then I heard this ruckus coming from the living room, so I grabbed my Tequila O'Neil and I went to investigate. And that's when he charged me in the hallway. And that's when you used your item on the assailant. No, sir, I just hit him with it repeatedly. All right, that's all for me. I'm Paul Goodwin. Thank you very much.